Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Toon review for this first Monday night show. Without Paul, who's on holiday, of course. It'll be a transfer show tonight and latest news also being involved with that. But before we start, please do hit that subscribe button if you are new to us and it's the first time you've come across us. Hit that thumbs up too to give us a like. And also, you can become a member by clicking the join button, as Graham McConnell has done tonight. Well, this morning, actually. He's a new member, Graham McConnell. Welcome to Members Club. And super chats are also available by clicking the $ below the chat, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out. Good evening, Sam and Sato. How are you?
Hello.
Very well, thank you, and happy birthday, Billy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, happy birthday.
23 again, eh? Unbelievable.
I know, you look great for it.
I wish.
Still more mobile than Harry Kane.
Just about. Good evening to Ron Peacock. There's people talking about Anthony Gordon, but no Euros chat tonight. That's history now, as Tom
Never
says.
happened.
Didn't happen at all. Tom says, good evening, Tom, to forget about and focus on the stuff that really matters. Exactly. And Dectonic says, everyone over the disappointment yet? What disappointment? Don't know what you're talking about, mate.
No,
have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm having a good day.
John says, good evening, Tom. Forget about who? Can't wait for the new season to start. Exactly. That's the sentiment we want to hear tonight. Brilliant. Good evening to Yano. Hope you're well. John Green, Len White, Yana. I just said Yano. Ruffiad Benition's in. Good evening to you. Who else we got? Mason. Good evening. Harry Foster. They're talking about a player here, and Ruffiad Benition is saying links to a winger at Bayern Munich, Serge Gnabry. Don't know where some of these come from, but he has an injury list that's longer than Wilson's. He's also 29. But of course, with Michael Olise joining Bayern Munich, I guess he could be available for somebody, whether it's us or not. Who knows? We're going to look some players tonight, and maybe he'll be one of them. I don't know yet. Even to Paul Sales, to Toon Talk. He says multi-links to Gononso from Leeds, but again, not going to pay the 25 million release clause for backup as he is not ready yet. And was he part of the Italian squad he was, wasn't he?
In the youth setup, in the tournament that we watched, he was in the youth setup, yeah. I think he was a sub as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
That was around the time that he had a little bit of a cry because he didn't really want to play in the Championship. And then all the Leeds fans did little graphics of his head on a baby, just crying and going, wow, which was quite amusing. I think they've maybe gotten over that now because he's played for them this season, of course, but that was quite fun.
And then nobody wanted him, so that's why he had to stay there, I guess.
Yeah. What does that say?
That speaks volumes, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Len White says newspapers are the biggest clickbaiters. I tend to agree. They've got to sell papers somehow, I guess. Trolls, good evening to you, my friend. Jock Bar, good evening to you. RJ says, if Eddie Howe gets offered the England job, would he take it?
Ooh. I'm going to say no. I don't know how you feel about this, lads, but I just think that from the interviews that we've seen with him, he is really into the day-to-day minutiae. He wants to be at the training ground every single day, and he's got a young family as well. Does he want to be dotting about all over the place watching games? I think it's for a later time in his life, and I certainly don't want to see him go.
It's a big thing, isn't it? Pressure-wise, to become England manager. You soon become either public enemy number one or public hero. Would Eddie Howe want that? I don't think so at this sort of moment in time.
I'm on the fence with this one because there are two schools of thought about what he may do, which is going to annoy you, Billy. I know it is, but I'll play the devil's advocate role. On the first side of it, we know that he loves club football. He loves the day-to-day. He loves getting in early, everything prepped, lots of control. He absolutely lives for it. He's in first. He's in the gym. We know that's part of who he is. However, on the flip side, you've got a guy potentially is he ever going to get this job again? You would think he may, as long as his career doesn't fall off a cliff. This may be a job that will come up again in the future. But there is the caveat that at the moment he's got a young family, and an international job may allow him to sort of spend a lot more time with his family as the kids are growing up. So some people have mentioned that, and that swayed me somewhat into it being a possibility. But I still think it's a low possibility. You know, I think it's one of those careers where, especially in a partnership like that, you know, when you've got whether it's a man or a woman in the military, high ranking, and you have to focus on that, or whether it's a professional manager or a footballer. Sometimes in the relationship, I'm not saying this is a man or a woman thing; it could be either or. But sometimes if you're in that high profile role, it's just go all the time. But it is what his life's like, isn't it? He talks about watching Champions Leagues in the evenings and getting his notepad out with the kids. I think probably he'll stay. I think there's logic behind why it might make sense to go for England, but I just don't think he will.
I mean, I understand both sides of the coin, if I'm perfectly honest.
I saw the Edit Kev tweet. I did not see the Edit Kev tweet. I've not had a chance to look at anything all day. Billy and Sam have literally just been updating me on stuff because I've been too busy.
Billy steps in again. Absolutely not. Not my fault this time.
Oh, it was me.
It was Stato having to get his stuff back and set up and stuff. So nothing to worry about. We're still here for the hour or so. Let's get back to some proper football. Can't wait to start this season. And it's starting to kick in now, isn't it, Sam? You know, we're ready for pre-season friendlies, and they're not too far away. The excitement's starting to build up, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like now, I know nothing particular has just recently happened in football that make me feel this way, but now I'm desperate for the season to begin. We're seeing the lads flying off to Germany. We know that we're going out to that Adidas camp to do the exclusive training in Germany. So that was excellent to see as well. So yeah, and I think the transfer news is really going to heat up now. Obviously losing Amanda and Maydad as well, but getting in some great signings, like business signings, like the likes of Bunsen as well coming on board. You know, Jack Brazil, I think it is for the under 16 squad, and the under 18s. I think they've got many new players as well as the women. So things are really starting to heat up. Yeah,
and transfer talk is obviously going to get hotter and hotter, Stato, isn't it? You know, there are players that we need to bring into the squad, so the room is just going to build up from here, aren't they?
It is. Well, we're starting to get into silly season now. And obviously it's time for Eddie Howe to assess in Germany and possibly in some of the preseason games whether some of the fringe players are going to be kept for the season as rotation, such as Elliot Anderson was a couple of years ago. Eddie Howe decided, right, he's good enough. We're not going to send him back out. We're going to keep him. It's that time again. Who's going to be the pick of the bunch? This is them leaving to Germany today. You can see Garan Qual is in the picture there. And obviously we've got Lloyd Kelly. I think that's Jamie Miley in the background there as well. So Jamie Miley looks like he's going. And a few of the first teamers, of course, and good old Sandro. So yeah, it's starting to hot up. We'll see. We're getting linked with wingers galore at the moment. Romano has come out and said, I think it was on one of his own YouTube shows, Romano said we're still in for 4 players. He thinks we're still in for Trafford. He thinks we're definitely in for a centre-half. We've been inquiring about centre-halves. We're in for a right winger, but we are inquiring about different roles as well. He talked about the fact that we asked for information about Javi Simmons from PSG. I don't know what that means. Does he just call up the front desk and go, can we have some information? I don't know. I don't quite know how that works, but potentially some agents on agents or whatever it is. But yeah, it's well and truly all systems go for transfers. So I would fully expect us to see another signing in before the end of July. I'd be surprised if we don't get another one through the door before July ends.
And Alex, I've got a question for you. Do you think we're going to see one of these keepers goes? Because it doesn't look like the Dubs deal is going to Celtic anymore.
He'll go somewhere. We'll get him to Turkey or somewhere like that. He'll go. Well, he loves his hair. We might best get him a free hair transplant or something, or who knows.
This is apparently AC Milan have agreed terms with Strahinja Pavlovic, who we looked at the other night, purely because of this. Might pave the way for Tio to come to us now. Yes, good advance spotting that Stato, to look at him.
You say that. I did have a few AC Milan fans telling me off that apparently that was because they've let go of Kjaer, is it? They've let go
Simon Kjaer, yeah.
Yeah, they've let go of him, and that is the replacement. So a few of the AC Milans were saying I was wrong there. Could be. I still think there's a fair possibility. I think Romano's confirmed, and possibly Ornstein. I might have made that up. That we've been in contact about Tour from AC Milan. So Thor. We're going to have to figure out how to say his name if we sign him as well. We'll just call him Thor. It's fine.
Yes, let's do that.
Chipper says, I see Paul Mitchell was at the training ground when they returned to training. Yeah, there's pictures of him shaking hands with Jacob Ruth on the exercise bikes and things like that. So seems like that was Amanda's last kind of job before she left, was to get Paul Mitchell on board, which I guess is a nice way to go out, isn't it?
Well, I think part of her role as a director is to set us up for success. I think Mitchell was probably the best parting gift we could ask for, and then obviously he's brought Bunsen as well, which I think is just a really fantastic role given how we were last season. It's not just looking at how we can get those gains in performance to tot us up and get the most out of the players that we have, but also to look at injuries and how we can, have risk reduction, which I think is incredibly important to us as well. So I think it's just been fantastic. So again, the final thank you to Amanda.
100%. This is a nice rumour. West Ham are in for DCL. So that's West Ham Man United now. As long as it's not us, I don't care. Apparently, Sigankov's been linked.
Oh, yeah, I saw that link as well. That's an interesting one.
Is he Girona?
I think he's the Girona right winger, the Ukrainian, is he?
Yeah, I think so.
No, he's Russian. Oh, I'm not allowed to. Oh, sorry, everybody. I can't make that mistake.
You can say Russian. You're allowed.
Yeah,
see what you mean. Mix them up with
Ukrainian, Russian.
No, that's quite right.
Have I got the right person? Oh no, he is Ukrainian. Oh, it's because there's two with very similar names. Viktor Tsihankov is Girona. Yeah, no, he's Ukrainian. I was right the first time. No worries.
Ignore
no apology needed.
Well, I mean, he was actually, to make it even more complicated on a global political scale, he was actually born in Israel. So we're not going to go anywhere near his nationality. We'll just talk about the football. That's it.
Yeah, he's not a bad player, though, is he?
Well, we'll probably have a look at him now we've talked about him.
Okie dokie. Let's have a look. Let's get the first play up then. Hang on, before we do that, we've got a super chat of 35,000 Indonesian. I can't remember what it is. Is it? I can't remember what their thing is. Is it real or rat? I can't remember. Rupees, maybe. I don't know. Is it Indian? It might even be Indian rupees. I don't know. But it's this one here.
IDR is. I'll be able to tell you in a minute. It is Indonesian rupiah.
Indonesian rupiah. There you go. Thanks for that, Revenger 32. Paul Mitchell, Magic coming soon. I feel it, Alex. Pounds. There you go. So thanks for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate that. Start getting the first play up then, mate. Let's see who we got. Maybe took it off.
This here. Go on, you do it.
Okay. And the first play is Shafi Simmons.
I bet none of you, and if you say you did, you're definitely lying. I bet nobody realised his middle name was Quentin Shea. Not a chance.
Wow.
But he is called Xavier. We're going with Xavier Quentin Shea Simmons. Or we're not going to do what Danny Murphy says in commentary and call him Simons, which drives me up the wall. I don't know why he does that. It's like people who call Miggy Almiron. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Anyway, that's by the by. So, Javi Simmons, this would be a light one. Very, very light one, because Bayern Munich are quite heavily interested in Javi Simmons. We have been linked as far as we've just been through this. We inquired for some information. So, means we like him and we may be, but I think it's very unlikely we're gonna get this guy. So we will at least have a look at him for the benefit of people that have not seen him on a transfer show before, so that everybody's clued up who doesn't know who this kid is. So Javi Simmons, 21-year-old young Dutchman who absolutely destroyed the Bundesliga last year for Leipzig, and has gone back to PSG because I'm pretty sure they had a buyback clause of like 2 mil and they just triggered it and got him straight back. Which is what we need to do with our youngsters. It's really important. So they got him straight back because he developed well. And now they're in the driving seat. They can either use him or sell him. And it's going to be very good profit for them. So 30,000 a week, which is quite low considering his stock on the market at the moment, his current level, his output in a top league, contribution to his international, the Netherlands and the Euros. just all of it adds up to, he should be on a lot more than that, especially at PSG. So contracted until June 2027. Obviously, he's only just got a new one with the buyback clause. He is quite small. He is a little bit small, which may be... It's interesting, the fact that we've inquired, because Eddie Howe typically likes people with a little bit more oomph who can win balls in the air and challenge a bit more and be a bit more physical in the league. But, we'll see. Maybe he's open to having a few different profiles of players. Maybe we're just sort of pigeonholing Eddie Howe's style. So in the Bundesliga, 32 appearances, 8 goals, 11 assists, which again is absolutely phenomenal. You're looking at sort of Anthony Gordon's standard of output again, and he's a bit younger. And then he's played nearly 600 minutes in the Champions League with 2 goals, 2 assists. And he's pretty good for his output as well. He's bang on what he should be scoring. It's slightly inflated on the assists metric by 1. Again, probably somebody's just quite good at finishing their dinner. And if we scroll down and have a look at the percentiles, we do have 2. So it does give us attacking midfielder / winger, and it does give us standard midfielders to look at. So Leipzig, are they still playing 4-2-2-2-2-2-2-2-2? Are they? I think so. Where was Leipzig? Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know how Leipzig play, they do that. So they're a little bit different. So his stats are going to be a little bit hard to interpret because he's going to be a 10 sometimes, but then he's going to overlap, but he's also going to drop. But so it's quite hard to interpret some of the data because especially this is over 3,000 minutes of data. So this is 100% what he plays like. So maybe ignore the green and the reds. The percentiles are maybe less useful as they can be. But progressive passes and progressive carries is still nice and high, well into the 80th percentiles for both. 6 and nearly 5 progressive carries. So he's a very good progressor of the ball. His successful take-on rate is nearly 3 per game as well. You're looking at sort of 4 or 5. He's getting up to a maxi standard. So he's very, very tricky. He can beat his man quite regularly. A lot of passes attempted as well. Defensive output is all right. Again, hard to interpret because Leipzig are a very dominant team in their league. They have a lot more possession, and they do have a lot of players in that team to win the ball back. Amadou Haidara wins the ball back a lot for them. Seivald as well. They also have what's the other guy's name? I think Lima went to Bayern Munich, didn't they? They've got David Raum. Baumgartner's on there. So they've got a lot of people that are quite happy to go and hoover up the ball and play that kind of boisterous midfield role. So Xavi Simons is much more of it. Well, you saw what he did against England. He can pick it up in a progressive area and do something magical with it. He's that kind of kid. Although we mocked him for his height, but he's actually profiling quite well for his position. He's above average, which considering he's 5'6", good effort. Maybe he's just really athletic and is quite happy to compete for sort of loose balls and stuff. Interceptions is okay. Shot volume is all right. It's above average. Shot creating actions is fantastic. Is 6. That's what we like to see. But he puts the ball in the back of the net and he helps teammates do it. So it's quite important. I'm interested to see how this spikes if we change him to a midfielder. Yeah. I don't think we can read too much into this because I don't think we would ever deploy him as deep as that. Because our deepest midfielder would tend to be Bruno. Like he's never going to be far enough back in the midfield for that to count for us. Like I don't think that really makes much sense. But if we scroll down and have a look who he profiles like, you have some technicians in here. You have the OG trequartista in Isco for Real Betis at the moment, who is the definition of I'm going to stand there and put keys in doors. You've got Cole Palmer, who has been equally successful at doing that in England with a lot more pace and youth than Isco's now got, which makes me sad because he's the same age as me. Never mind. Dani Olmo, of course, is on this list. Again, a lot of people watching will have seen a lot of Spain in the Euros, and you know, Dani Olmo just unlocks doors constantly. He's got 1-2s, chips, dinks. He always finds a way to somehow get round you. He's annoying. Florian Wirtz is another one that can play that kind of game. So the fact that Xavi Simons is profiling like these guys just shows kind of what he can do. Midfielders, I'll be interested to see this list. I've not looked at it. Okay. So it's basically older versions. Like you've got Bernardo Silva on this list with Julian Brandt. Okay, so slightly more experienced maestros, wizards, as it were. Julian Brandt, of course, a few years ago was just unplayable. I guess Florian Wirtz is the new Julian Brandt for Germany. Udegaard, we know as well, can definitely pick a few locks.
And they call him a Manchester United player there, a midfielder. I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot for that.
He's more offensive than that in more than one way, to be fair.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we'll swiftly move on from that. So it only shows PSG, but for people that don't know Xavi Simons, he did actually come through La Masia. He was a Barca kid. There's videos of him sort of with his little floppy hair when he was a kid, like kicking it around in the youth levels. And everybody was like, oh my God, it's going to be the next Messi. And then he went to France. And everybody was like, oh, that's really sad. So PSG decided to hoover up all the talent in Europe. And then he spent a year at PSV. I think that was when Van Nistelrooy was in charge. And he was fantastic at PSV. He scored 19 goals, 8 assists from 34 starts, and he was a teenager at that point as well. He was only 19. So he absolutely destroyed the Netherlands. And then he went to the Bundesliga and managed to maintain that sort of performance level. Obviously, the output's dropped off a tiny bit, but it's a much harder league. So to sustain that, still incredible. So he's going to be fantastic. How does he compare to Willock? I mean, I think that's probably a fair comparison. This guy, I mean, he's not quite got the power that Willock's got. I mean, that's not a bad shout. Let's actually do that, because we do normally do a player-by-player comparison, don't we? So let's go to Joe Willock and then back to Xavi Simons, and then it will let us do one of these. Oh, it's only letting Joe Willock be a midfielder, so it's going to skew it, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's useless to us. I don't know why they've got Joe Willock down as a midfielder, because he's most certainly an attacking midfielder who plays on the wing. All right, ignore that then. That's not going to be of much good to us. Do you want to go through some comments, Billy, before we look at his sofa score?
Yeah, well, not. Well, Pedro's asking me how old I'm today. He would say 52. You're guessing wrong there, mate. Thanks, by the way, for all the happy birthday greetings that you're giving me. It's really nice to see. Breaking on Sky, Everton are in talks with Son Gononto. Stato Fabriciano explained a week ago his name is Malik Chow, but spelled different. Okay,
Malik Chow.
I'm not going to say that. Oh, dear me. Oh, so you're saying comments. No one's talking about it. Oh, is that? There you go. We've got one here.
You've got to go further down.
Won't join Newcastle. Lots of top clubs are in for him.
I mean, you got a Spurs badge, mate, so I wouldn't talk about top clubs if I were you. Sorry, that was a low blow.
Nice.
But
we do welcome all clubs to the channel who are respectful. Disclaimer.
This kid has been touted as the next Ronaldinho since he signed at Barcelona as a young kid. They dropped us behind. Stato just said that.
Yeah.
He will be the next Phil Foden, says Alexander. PSG apparently want 85 million for him.
I mean, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
It is a lot of money. So Simon's parents love Tarantino and Given with the middle names, I guess.
Apparently.
And Tom says, if you're watching the Copa America with American commentary, Almiron. There you go.
Almiron is taking it past halfway.
Maybe we can trick a club into thinking it's a different player if we just pronounce it differently. Give it a continental twist.
Here's another strange thing that I saw. I saw this earlier myself. Andrews Christensen from Barcelona with Harvey Barnes going the other way.
That's a weird one, that is.
That's a strange swap, isn't it, that one?
It's so far out that I feel like there's got to be something to it because it's so weird. Why is it even a thing?
Good evening to Mark. Anyway, let's have a look at some of these performances of our man Xavi.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just noticing up there. I remember that game. I actually watched that one. I watched because I like Hoffenheim. I don't know why. I've just got an affinity for Hoffenheim at the moment. And I watched Xavi Simons get sent off in that game. He like kicked the ball away and whinged a bit, and then did something, and he got sent off pretty quickly. It was very naughty of him. And then Kramaric to the rescue. But we'll ignore that. That was an attitude problem. He's young. I'm sure he'll get over that. So his end to the season was a penalty against Frankfurt in a 7.7. He dropped. Oh, Mario Götze's at Frankfurt, of course he is. So there you go. There's the very irritating to look at 4-2-2-2 with Simmons next to Elif Elmas, who I can't. Is he? I think he's Albanian. I could be wrong, possibly. Can't remember where he's from.
Who?
Elmas. I remember he's really good. I just can't remember where he's from.
He played in the didn't he? He played in the Euros. Sure he did.
Possibly. Šeško and Luis Openda up front, of course, fantastic. So he's presumably floated out to that left-hand side. Let's go and have a look at how he did. He got subbed off pretty late on. Yeah, so he's basically played everywhere. I think he's had a little go on the right-hand side. It looks like he took... is he left-footed or right-footed? I can't remember for the life of me.
I think right-footed.
He is right-footed. So he was taking in-swingers as corners, and he spent most of his time kind of in that central role as an inside forward. And how else has he done? He got his goal from the penalty spot. 1 key pass. 4 accurate long balls is nice. Bit of creativity, getting your head up, especially as a youngster, especially this kind of guy. You would imagine he wants to start running at people. But to be able to get your head up and pick out a long pass 4 times in a high-level game is nice. He got an accurate cross as well. Okay on the duels, 4 out of 7, 1 out of 3 aerial. 1 foul. Yeah, not too bad. I mean, we do kind of need to go back to the other page to have a look at. Oh, okay. There we go. There's the money shot. That is the money shot indeed. Leipzig versus Dortmund, 4-1 with an assist at the bottom there. You've got crazy marks dropped all up and down this page. What should we have a look at? I mean, let's have a look at the Dortmund game because we know that's a decent benchmark. Dortmund are a fantastic team. So Baumgartner got in there, Simikan, Šeško, Openda. So he didn't get on the score sheet, but he did start. And to drop an 8 and not get a goal, not get any goals means you've done something. So apparently this is what he did. Again, very left side dominant there. He's gone with, he did get his assist. 1 key pass, 3 long balls again. So he seems to definitely be able to pick out. I don't know if this is big switches or if these are counter attacks. We would have to go and watch the game specifically in more detail. But nice to see the 2 games we've looked at. Fantastic long balls. An accurate cross as well. Created a big chance for his team. 6 shots there he tried. 1 on target, 4 off, 1 blocked. 6 completed dribbles. He was running rings around people. Hit the woodwork. 8 out of 14 duels is really nice as well. You've got to remember this is against Dortmund. So it's not Farmers. This is Dortmund. So this is fantastic output from him. Right, and let's go and have a look at those claims that he might be 85 mil. 20 caps for the Netherlands with 2 goals. His current market value, well, I mean, Transfermarkt says market value is about 80. It's kind of hard to disagree with it. With the way the market is nowadays, is he... Grealish went for 100. Is this kid that far off what Grealish was last year? Not really. I mean, the markets have just gone bonkers. Yeah. I mean, that's basically just ended this conversation, isn't it?
Definition says Bayern Munich have offered him 115,000 a week basic euros. That is 100 potential 230,000 euros a week with bonuses. All reports say PSG want the same money as Elise. Say we're looking at 60 million quid.
Yeah, but Bayern will be able to offset that with a Serge Gnabry deal going somewhere. Yeah. They'll be able to do a bit of jiggery pokery, whereas we can't really do that. We can get rid of Miggy if he goes.
Does he have an English agent? He looks like he's got an English agent.
Darren Dine. Who's this? I don't know.
David Dean's.
He's got 30 players on his books. Worth 109. So he's got Malacia as well, who's at Manchester United. Kambuala, who I think has just joined. Oh, who did he go to? Is that who he's gone to? He left Man United, didn't he? Is he gone to Villarreal? Yeah, that's the Villarreal badge.
Yeah, he was Man United. Yeah, and Lewis Binks plays for Coventry City. Was it Bologna or someone in Italy?
Yeah, Jay Da Silva's Cov as well. Okay. Interesting. You've got a young centre forward at Lille, Lyon, Racing Club de Lens. So he's got French.
Let's go down. That's Cecil Parkinson at the bottom. Go down.
Pantilimon's on this list as well.
Pantilimon.
Free agent. Sean Wright Phillips.
42.
And Bradley Wright Phillips. Maybe he used to represent them. And Flamini's on this list.
Christ.
Wow. And Alex Song. Didn't he go back to Cameroon and play in the Cameroonian Premier League? Or was it Cameroon? Have I got the wrong country? It was something like
I
that.
think he played for Cameroon. Yeah.
I think he went and played in Africa and tried to improve the leagues. But anyway, yeah, that is Xavi Simons, guys. I don't know what everybody else thinks about him, but
I mean,
I think he's going to be too expensive.
Yeah, it's unlikely, but great player. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a lot of people know, a big avid follower of the Netherlands during the Euros. I thought he was great. He's very pacey. We've seen by the stats, but it actually told on the pitch as well. He has a mobility. He's able to play anywhere. I saw a few assists from him going into Memphis Depay, Gakpo as well, but he's actually not afraid to get behind players as well, which is great. The price tag is what certainly puts me off. He's got fantastic pace and almost vision for where he wants to put the ball. I think he was let down by his squad a little bit during the Euros, but it's that price tag for me. We're not going to be in with a shot for that when we can only probably offload Almiron.
I guess not just that. I mean, there's going to be a lot of competition for him from the very top clubs, isn't there? So we saw what he did in Euros. We'll see what he did to England in the Euros. So he's a 21 years of age. He's got lots and lots of ceiling to hit yet, hasn't he? So, yeah. Good player. Really good player, but doubtful he's going to sign for Newcastle United. However, I'll be all for it. What's this one here that Yvonne says? Billy, it might be your latest circuit around the sun. Right. I see what you say getting there. But until our boys win something, I'm praying to be there before hitting the stairs. I was in the stands, by the way, in 1969. Well, that's I was a year old in 1969. There you go. That's my age given away. But yeah, brilliant. And a nice way of putting things. Latest circuit around the sun and hitting the stairs. Yeah, that's a nice way of saying horrible things.
Well done, Yvonne.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliantly diplomatic.
Yeah.
Good evening to Level 7 Dave in the chat also. Foxy says Alex Song went to Arta Soler 7 to play in the Djibouti Premier League.
I remembered it was the 7th. Oh, no, it wasn't the 7th. It was just called the Solar 7. I remembered the 7, the Djibouti Premier League. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, we've got ready for another player. Let's see who we've got now then. This is the next one coming up. It is Serge Gnabry.
David.
Serge David Gnabry.
I don't know why FB Ref are so into the middle names because I don't think a lot of the other sites do it, but I just think it's fantastic.
I enjoy it.
Oh, I'm zooming in on my StreamYard and not on that page. Just zoom in a little bit. So a lot of people, I've read a few articles. I read one on my lunch break today. I think it was Ollie from NUFCblog.co.uk, which is a good site. Do a lot of good articles. Ollie's good. Well, at least I think it was Ollie who wrote this. Somebody wrote, was it him? Again, if I'm slandering him now, I do apologise. Somebody wrote Arsenal reject Serge Gnabry. I thought that was really harsh because he's a 5-time Bundesliga champion with Bayern Munich and scored a goal in the Champions League final to win the Champions League. So I've seen quite a few bits around kind of, oh, he's really old and he didn't work at Arsenal. And have you seen what he did when he left this country? Like, he was absolutely outrageous. So I think a lot of people maybe haven't seen him play in recent years, but he's. So I think we'll open this by saying, right, his age. We are typically trying to recruit a bit younger. Are we beyond buying somebody a bit older for this squad at the moment? Are we only going to recruit younger, or is there a possibility we bring in some experience to help us?
I mean, he was only 21 yesterday.
He was, yeah. I think they're doing a massive disservice there. He's 29 and 1 day. So it was his birthday yesterday, and everybody's written articles going he's over the hill. Whereas if it was 2 days ago, they'd have gone, oh, he's in his peak. He's 28. So a little bit harsh.
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. It's funny how that it's just totted it over and it can just get something in your mind. I believe there is always room for experience. So yeah, I know it's probably not the typical age profile like you've mentioned. Certainly not that Mitchell would go for, but experience is great for the right price.
I mean, a few people, Common Alex Gnabry, injury lists. Yeah. All right. We'll give him a fair crack of the whip. We'll have a look at him together. I've not seen massive amounts of him this year. I think I've I've seen Bayern play a handful of times, mostly in the Champions League. I think I watched them against Leipzig, I think I watched them against Dortmund. I've seen him a few times. And he's not got really many minutes this season, to be honest. 10 appearances in the Bundesliga, 432, with only 200 minutes in the Champions League as well. But to be fair, his output in that time is really, really impressive. We have more player info. What does this do? Oh, I don't like that. How do we hide it again?
362,000 a week.
Oh my God.
Anyway, that was a good.
Move on.
Yeah, all right. His legs have gone. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see how he's doing first. He is 5'8" as well, which is not helping his case. But I will just scroll over and just show you. Look, he has Champions League champion 2019-20 and 5-time Bundesliga champion with a nice shiny little medal for him there on FBref. And if we scroll down, let's have a look at his data for this season. So it is only 632 minutes worth of data. So the tiniest of sample sizes. So we're a bit meh. Defensive output, though, is nice and impressive considering his age. But again, pinch of salt because it's 600 minutes. Progressive carries are a little lower than I would have liked for somebody like him. Again, maybe not beating his fullback and carrying the ball long distances as much as he used to be. Successful take-ons is concerning, but again, small sample size. Maybe the minutes were played against tougher teams, is tougher opposite man. You can't always tell. Careful with the ball, which is nice. Shots volume is through the roof at 3 shots per game as a winger is fantastic. Shall we have a look at him versus Miggy? Shall we? Just for.
I'm going to say Spurs would be better.
Yeah, maybe.
Wild stab in the dark.
But for shits and giggles, let's have a look.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? I've got a terrible cough today. Sorry, everyone. Percentage of dribblers tackled. Miggy's higher. And actually, a little bit concerning is Miggy slightly beats him in progressive carries as well and progressive passes. But then he beats him out on every other area. So percentage of aerial duels won as well is considerably higher. Touches. Yeah, it's one of those. I don't think his recent metrics are very good at the moment. In terms of what his data profile's like is rather interesting. The list is quite flattering for him there. Although you've got a lot of players that I feel play very different games. So this confuses me because I feel like Perez plays a very different game to Saka and Saka plays a completely different game to Bellingham. It's just a strange smattering of different profiles here. So,
and Joao Pedro's been playing as a centre forward most of the season.
Yeah, so maybe this is an indication of kind of his, maybe not decline, but his aging and maybe playing in a different way. Career to date as well. Let's check the career. So it was Arsenal, West Brom. I forgot he was at West Brom, but one appearance for 13 minutes. That was it. Werder Bremen, Hoffenheim, and then Bayern Munich. And he's been there for a very long time, and he's won all of the trophies apart from Harry Kane, which ruined his party last year.
Bit of a jinx, Harry Kane, isn't he?
He is definitely. So he is 176 centimeters. Still got the number 7 shirt. And to be fair, versatile left wing, right wing. Strengths are passing and high pressing, which is good. Again, how much longer can he do this for? Who knows? It looks like maybe he was injured. That might be why. I think we'll go and have a check. It was possible that it was an injury, but he's come back and absolutely ripped it up in the latter stages of the season. So this was early March. He came back an 8-1 against Mainz. I remember this game. They've absolutely blown teams away when he's come back. At 5-2 against Darmstadt, you've got a 2-0 loss against Bayern in which he actually scored quite well. And the goal and assist against Heidenheim as well. Scored against Arsenal, of course he did, in the Champions League, which is just funny. Let's have a look at him against Arsenal, because obviously everybody watches Arsenal. It was a Harry Kane pen, of course it was. So they went with a 4-2-3-1 with Gnabry on the left, and he got injured in that game. Interesting. Oh dear. So it was Gnabry, Musiala, and Leroy Sané behind Harry Kane. So a very German flavour about it.
Not bad for
He's done a lot of defensive work, which again we like. He got his goal, a couple of shots, kind of, not really got stuck in very well there. 3 clearances, a tackle, mixed, but it is a Champions League game. I mean, who was his opposite number on that side? If I can actually scroll. So he was up against Saka, Udegaard. Yeah, I mean, he had quite a tough time, to be fair to him, but he did have Conrad Lima to help him out. Some of the better games, Heidenheim against considerably easier opposition than Arsenal, but still, he's absolutely destroyed them there. They had Müller out on the right this time, and he's dropped an 8.4 and got subbed off again. It just seemed like he's always subbed off. 67 minutes. Yeah, we don't want another person. Well,
Eddie Howe's on.
I was going to say Ryan Fraser. I don't like it when people can only play 65 minutes ever and then go, well done, he's worked really hard. No, he's just not fit enough. There's a difference. So that concerns me. Maybe it's injury. He was getting his fitness back. A couple of key passes. Yeah, I mean, the data's a bit meh. He's doing well. He's contributing a lot and he's scoring high. In terms of his transfer marks, his agent is Roof, who one of the big ones. 45 caps for Germany, 22 goals. Current market value at 40, highest at 90 way back when. Striker, right wing, left wing. We've been through that. Oh, dual nationality with Côte d'Ivoire with Ivory Coast. I didn't know that. And Roof, let's have a look at Roof, shall we? There is only 2 years left in his contract. So Roof are in Grunwald in Germany. So they are a German agency. And they do represent a lot of people. Havertz, Lookman, Diamande, Nabre. So he's the 4th highest rated player or highest valued player on their books at the moment. They've got Harvey Elliott on there. It's interesting representation. I don't know if there's anybody that we've got on this list that we've been dealing with. No, I don't think we have anybody from Roof, do we?
Lots of pages there, isn't there?
No, it doesn't look like we have anybody from this agency at Newcastle. Ryan Brewster. Well, they must be struggling to find him. A good move. Yeah, no, nobody that we've dealt with recently that's on this list. So, thoughts, everyone?
To the injuries, though. Let's have a look.
I was going to say, yeah, that's what I want to see.
Forgot about that one. All right, let's go back to Nabry and injury history. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, he's torn his bundle. What I don't know what a bundle is.
I tore mine once 20 years ago.
Torn muscle bundle. Medical experts in the chat, please tell us what a torn muscle bundle is, because I've never heard of that.
A collective of muscles? It's like
is it the collective noun for muscles? A bundle of muscles? I don't know.
And he's still injured now, apparently.
Apparently he is. Yeah, 67 days until. Oh no! Apparently, oh no! I was going to say he gets fit again today, but maybe it just counts until he's fit again, which he probably does. Torn muscle fiber. Which was 19 days, a muscle injury of vague description, which was 85 days.
Gosh.
He was ill for 4. He fractured his forearm. I wonder if he missed 7 games. Hip, ankle, capsular, hand, flu, adductor, quarantine, corona. Oh, there's 3 pages.
No.
Okay, that's oh no, knee problems, more quarantine, bruised back. What has he not hurt? It's probably easier to give us a list of what he's not hurt.
He had a week off for the cold, for Christ's sake.
Muscular. Oh, he's hurt his bundle again. That was a long injury for his bundle there. That was 61 days.
This man's got to be a thing if it's repeated. Surely.
Inflammation in the knee. 150 days? Take an ibuprofen, man. Okay, I think that's a no. I think we're just going to close that page.
I think we're out. We're
out. Revenge has sent another super chat of 35,000 Indonesian rupiah. German Jacob Murphy for sure. Please compare. Don't need to. The fellas are sick now. 333k a week, and he spends most of his time on the treatment table. So no. I don't.
Foxy says I should have gone to the injury list first. I didn't realize. I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was. I didn't know it was that bad.
Was that worse than Chiesa?
Yes. There's 3 pages in here.
Oh, 3 pages. I thought
Chiesa's still young, so he's still got time.
Still got time to get injured. Yes.
I mean, Tristan's knows everything, doesn't he? Stop, mate. Good idea. But even I knew his wages are like 310k a week in Harmony. Well,
I
good for
knew
you,
there'd be a lot, but I didn't think they'd be near 400. That's absurd.
Dear me.
That's bonkers.
I mean, 3
I
pages.
thought he'd have been on 250, but what was he? 368. That's just mad.
He holds the record, doesn't he?
Yeah, but
unless we're linked with Darren Anderson, that ain't going to get beat, I don't think.
no. I've never seen 3 pages of injuries on FB on not FBref Transfermarkt. I challenge anybody, find me somebody that's got a longer injury list than that on Transfermarkt. That's mad.
Right. Do we have one more player? Because that's a definite no-no.
Well, I mean, I was
no-no.
tempted for us to look at Willie Nonto, but you've told me he's linked with Everton. So is it even worth looking at him today? Or
I mean, is Willie Ganonto really a Sean Dyche player? He's only about 3'2", isn't he?
who else is on my list? I can't remember. He's pretty small, to be fair. So
Sigankov, I should say.
oh yeah, of course. I haven't even had a chance to transfer him onto my list yet, but yeah, we can do him. I've not done any research on him, so this is on the fly, guys. But it's always fun jumping into a player profile together. It's how you know that this show is generally not scripted. It's not.
I mean, Mark Weltley says you don't get that if you're in the MMA.
Yeah. On those types of wages as well. I'm astounded.
No wonder they got rid of him. Right, are we ready?
Give me 1 second. Just need to bring up a few. I think it's because you can spell his name a few different ways, so the websites don't like it.
John McDonald said more injuries than me, and I'm disabled. Yeah, I think we've wrote him off. We've wrote Mr. Gnabry off, and I don't. So yeah, fair enough, really.
Right, I've got him.
Okay, here we go. Victor Sigankov. That H must be a G in another language.
Yeah, Viktor Tsehankov, I'd say. But again, I'm going to say that with a Polish twang because I don't know.
I'm sure it's a G on FIFA, but anyway.
Yeah, I thought that he had a G in his name because that's what I typed in originally, but apparently it's not. Maybe it's a slightly altered spelling for online. That is not Cyrillic. What is that, like a computer version of Cyrillic that I don't know exists? Maybe it is.
I think that's Yiddish, mate, Hebrew.
Oh, maybe it is because he's born in
Yes.
Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no way that's Cyrillic. Yeah, so born in Naharia in Israel, obviously plays for the Ukraine with his Ukrainian surname. So he is a left-footed winger, which is there's not many of them. We need to find the good ones. He's on about 10% of what, less than 10%. He's on about 8% of what Serge Gnabry was on, which is bonkers. Contract expires June 2027, so 3 years from right now. He had a very good season. So for people who've been living under a rock or don't watch anything in Spain, Girona were the surprise package in Spain this year. They were fantastic. They were winning all the games. They basically did what Bologna did in Serie A. There was always one standout team in each league. Aston Villa was for our league last season. Girona was that in Spain. Bologna was that in Italy. I think probably Brest would be the one in France. So there were lots of nice standout teams breaking into the established elite, which is what we love to see. But yeah, in La Liga, 8 goals, 7 assists, running marginally hot. So he's got the hob turned up slightly there at 1.8 over his XG, slightly over his XAG as well, which is fine. 2,000 minutes, 30 appearances. I would have expected slightly more minutes than that, to be fair, but maybe we'll see why. Again, I'm going into this blind as you all are, so I've seen less of him. I've only seen Girona play, I think, twice last year, so very minimal, and I can't actually remember looking at this guy much. But he looks like he profiles okay. Surprised by the level of progressive carries. That's a little bit lower than I was expecting to see, to be honest. But maybe there's reasons for that. It depends on how they play. Maybe he's focusing a lot more on passing. 3.9 progressive passes per 90 is above average. Progressive carries is still okay, but it's a little on the lower side. Passes attempted is all right. I mean, what else we're looking at? Shot volume is quite low, so maybe he's not the guy that's going to take tons of pot shots. Shot creating actions is also quite low. I mean, these are all the metrics that I like in a winger. So
what does he do then?
well, I mean, his output's great, so he's doing something, but he's just
clearances. Look,
he's fantastic at clearances. And to be fair, his tackle metrics and interceptions are really good for his position as well, and his aerial duels are above average. Oh, I need a cough drop. I mean, who's he profiling like? I mean, these keep coming up a lot tonight. We've got Minamino, we've got Pulisic, Felix, Marco Reus, who I'm not sure if he can still run. Of course, he's just left Dortmund, hasn't he? Dani Olmo is on this list, which is a massive praise for him. Elanga's on the list. So, I mean, he's keeping good company in his comparisons. I mean, what does he look like as a midfielder? Hang on a minute. Maybe this is unfair.
Just to me, Alex, that seems a bit incongruent with his percentiles that I'm seeing there, the company that he's keeping with who he's being compared with.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know exactly how they work this one out. Similar players, I need to maybe email them and ask exactly how they do this breakdown, because I thought it was the spread of percentiles, or maybe at least where they spike in which statistic, because they break down what each metric means. Yeah, it might be worth looking into that. But yeah, as a midfielder, it looks better. But this leads me to believe he's not a midfielder. We'll have a look. I mean, instead of chatting, let's actually go and have a look. I mean, they're saying he's an out-and-out right winger on SofaScore. How does Girona actually line up? I mean, he's absolutely destroyed Granada there in a 9.4. So they play a 4-3-3. So similar to what we do with Artem Dovbyk up front. It looks like he does play as a proper winger, to be fair. Oh, they did get a player sent off. Yeah, 2 goals, an assist, 2 completed dribbles. I'm a bit zoomed out. Sorry, everyone. 3 ground duels, 1. He just looks like he's rather clinical, to be fair. Do you know what this screams to me? I'm concerned that this is flash in the pan kind of stuff, marginally.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because there's a lot of underlying data there that suggests he's not doing the things you need to do to be an elite winger. But he's got the payoff for it. Is it sustainable? I mean, his XG would suggest it's okay. But then let's say he has a season where he runs a bit cold. He's scoring, 5 goals instead of 8? Is that... this is a lot of just conjecture from me because I've not really seen him much. This is all ifs and buts. So anybody who's seen him play a lot more, obviously, please let me know. I mean, Toon Talk saying he's a technical winger. They play some different formations. Yeah, I mean, I'll have a look into this and we'll do another show with him and give him a bit more justice. But at the moment, I'm a little bit suspicious of this. The jury's definitely out.
What was previous seasons like? That might give us more of a clue.
Yeah, career to date. I mean, he's absolutely ripped it up in the Ukraine for Dynamo Kiev. But of course, they're one of the top teams in the league with good output. His last season there, I think he left halfway through, possibly. Yeah, he did. So the season before last, 19 appearances, 17 starts, 3 goals and 6 assists. He's improved this year. Interesting. I mean, we can have a look at some more games. He doesn't have very many bad games. He played in the friendlies, pre-Euros. What else did they do? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong side. So 4-2-3-1 in this game with him playing as a winger, possibly moving into midfield a tiny bit. But I think he's mostly out on... Yeah, I mean, he's a winger. He's a winger. That proves to me definitely a full winger. He's not floating centrally. He's not doing midfielder things. He's properly a winger, judging by his heat map. He gets an assist in this game with 5 key passes. 5 key passes, which is mental. Good amount of crosses and long balls. 2 big chances created for his team. 4 shots, hit the post, 2 completed dribbles. Again, a lot of the data in the matches doesn't line up with his percentiles here, which is interesting. And I'm also curious why they've given him a midfielder statistic. Maybe they changed formations halfway through the season. There's definitely got to be reasons for this. So we'll have to go and do some more digging. In terms of his transfer marks, 55 caps for the Ukraine, which is a lot, by the way. He is Harvey Barnes' age. He's 26, so he's, fresh out of the box, ready to go. PK, you buy him, you want him to deliver. Right now, there is no settling in and learning. You're 26, you crack on with it. Anyway, otherwise, but I think if you're buying a 26-year-old, they need to be the finished article or close to. Current market value at 30. Yeah. I'll let you guys carry this on because I'm on the fence.
It sounds like you're not on the fence. Sounds like on the other side of it. He looks like a player that needs the house improving, says Alexander.
Might be more to this, so
I think we need to do a deeper dive to have a fair analysis of this guy. He does look clinical. He is giving me a bit of a sort of Harvey Barnes type of vibe.
Ooh. Some injuries there as well.
Pass.
He's a 2-page as well, isn't he? That's the word. Yeah.
He's a 2-pager. Yeah. I mean, it's so. Is it okay? I mean, okay, that's probably why he's not made as many appearances. But that being said, if he was fit, he might have been able to do a lot more. But we say that about a lot of players, don't we?
We do. Yeah, I think we need to see more links, really. Hopefully not too more, because I'm not a fan, I've got to say.
I mean, this is giving me Ukrainian Harvey Barnes vibes, but...
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting for it. He does look clinical, and the stats are probably telling us that. And I think you said someone in the comments mentioned technical, absolutely. But it's, Harvey Barnes. And I think for Harvey Barnes, for me, just he sometimes is afraid to get stuck in sometimes. And would we see the same with this kid?
I mean, John Rowland's a Man City fan, and of course, you own our associate club of Manchester City, aren't they? So he may know more about him. He says hard worker links play well. So.
Okay. But I mean, the stats don't suggest that, but yeah. Mansell makes an interesting comment here that apparently there's a 25 mil release clause. I mean, it doesn't say that on transfer.
It's a very, very low release clause, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's no proof on that, but yeah, maybe he's got that. I'm waiting for my Foxy analysis. Foxy, where have you gone? Because I haven't seen enough of this guy. I'm waiting to see some people that have actually seen him play more than me.
I don't think he's setting the chat alight, is he? He's not setting everybody on fire with this.
No.
Well, of course you'll get to see him in the Cellar Cup, won't you?
I think my tone and our tone does say that. I would always advise people, don't jump on the bandwagon of my tone of voice or whether I like someone, because you might be able to spot something that I'm not spotting. Like, I am not a professional. I'm just a fan that sits and does this with you guys. So if you see something interesting, or you know a bit of information, or you've watched it on our play, or you've seen this guy, or you've watched the Ukraine, pop it in the chat, because I don't know everything at all, not even close. I know very little. So, give us some extra information, because there's so many players we get linked with nowadays. I just can't watch everybody. Like, most people that come up, I may have seen them a handful of times tops. It's just not possible anymore.
I've not seen much of him. I saw a little bit of him in the Euros. Underwhelming, I thought, in the Euros. Although Ukraine were kind of underwhelming, full stop, weren't they? Typically Ukrainian, actually. Kieran says, do a dive in Chiesa stats. Well, I think we did that last week, didn't we, Sto? Last week or the week before?
We did, yeah. He was last week.
We've done one very recently. So if you look back on the previous shows, transfer shows, you'll see one with Chiesa in it. He also wants us to do one on Minamino. I don't think Minamino's been linked, Kieran. And that's the press feed that we use. If they're linked through the press or social media, then we can have a look. Until that happens, it's just pie in the sky, really. But that's the rules we use. There we go. I think I missed a super chat. I did.
How dare you?
We've entered 32 again with another 35,000 Indonesian rupiah. Born in Israel and Ukraine, nationality, what a combo. Well, there you go. There you go. That's it. It comes to the end of our show tonight. Dan Brown asked, did we do Somerville? Yes, we did him last week as well, I believe.
Well, we do have another show on Wednesday, guys, and we will be going through the latest news and possibly more transfers. It depends what's dropped. We may have some interesting news out of the Germany camp, maybe a nice video, some footage of training that might give us some nice insights. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe and come back on Wednesday because we'll go and have a look at more players. There's loads more on the list, and I'm sure we'll get linked with another bunch of players in the next 2 days.
Well, Euros is over now as well, Alex. So
what's over? What's over? What? I don't know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
I don't know. Something is over. So I think things are going to heat up a little bit. And don't forget to vote for us as well.
Yes, in the Content Creators Awards, go into that. I think there's a link in the description below. You're looking for best club content creator Premier League. Vote for us. You get us there again. It'll be the 3rd year on the trot. Foxy has put a comment in about him. Harsh people saying he's another Miggy for start. He costs a lot with his right foot. It all depends on his price, really. But for me, better options out there. He's the man that knows. He's the man that knows. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching tonight and all the super chatters. Albituga's very keen to shout España, España, España.
Cállate.
Well, Lord knows why. I mean, nothing happened yesterday that would make you do that. But good for you for being patriotic towards your nation, I guess.
I'm pretty sure. I thought he was Portuguese, is he not?
I'm pretty sure he's Portuguese. But it sounds
He's
Portuguese.
not even Spanish. Yeah,
there you go.
I'm sorry, but you live in the Wales of Spain. We're not having that.
Oh, dear me. Thanks to all you lot in the chat anyway. Thanks for the super chats and the members and the birthday wishes. Really appreciate that. Thanks to the mods for keeping the chat in check. And also thanks to you two for helping out with a great show tonight. And we should be back with you Wednesday and potentially a Patreon or two coming over the next day or two also. So until then, I wish you all a very good evening, folks.
Away the lads and lasses.
Come back and check out some green.